Shalom, Israel, shalom, shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, and another Monday Night Fire, Salaki, and another Monday Night Fire, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Wamalaki Bashad, double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently laboring and waiting for the second coming of our Lord, Hamashiach Wamalaki Bashad. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the sisters out there holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive and diligent, and those who may not be married are those who are zealous, on fire, attending upon the Lord without distraction. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And last but not least, shalom to everybody tuning in live. Kyoko Banyamin, Lee, Sweet Styles, Don Israel, Brother Believe, Good Life 925, Brother Azariah, Shalom King, Yvette McKellar, Kazak, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Are you watching current events and hot topics, right? Are you watching? Are you paying attention to the judgments that Yahweh Bashmiah is doing on the earth? Are you watching this alternative media, television? Are you listening to the whistleblowers? Are you diving deep to see what the Most High is doing on the earth? Or are you complacent? Or are you slothful? Or are you drifting back into the world that you long after? And that's what's happening with a lot of people. A lot of people are taking their foot off the gas and they're drifting off back into gross darkness, man. And I want to kick this off real quick with Hebrews, the 10th chapter, right? Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. This is not the time to be drifting off and being slothful and diving back into the world, right? There's nothing left in the world for you, man. Right? Everything that you see, that you smell, taste, touch, hear, all things in this society are going to be destroyed, man. And even the elements, like I tell you in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, right? This Hebrews chapter 10 and verse number 35. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward, man. And that'd be a foolish thing to invest your life into this truth, man, just to cast it away. Here you have forsaken wives and children and families and jobs and opportunities that you may have had at the door. Here you have forsaken money. You have forsaken things that you may have wanted and things that you possibly could have gained and things that could have made you successful or provided opportunities in this society. You have forsaken it all. Relationships and things of that nature, man, to invest in Yahweh Ba'ashmi Abashah. It would be such a foolish, such a low down shame to cast it all away, man. Right? Cast not away, therefore, your confidence. And your confidence is your faith in this truth, which hath great recompense of reward. And there is a great recompense of reward, man. Right? There is a return on this investment, man. Right? That's what the recompense is, your reward, the payback, your due. You understand the work that you have put in, you're going to receive the kingdom of heaven for that. All of the labor, your time that you spent fasting, praying, studying, reading, exhorting, doing the work, the sacrifices that you have made, what you are willing to compromise, to come into this knowledge, there is a reward for that. Verse 36, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. And this truth is about patience, man. It's about suffering, right? It's about dealing with affliction. It's about endurance, man. Right? It reads, for yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. And the Lord said, yet a little while, man. Yet a little while. And a lot of people, they begin to smite their fellow servants and to eat and drink with the drunken because this little while is too long for them. A lot of people put a timeline on when the bombs are going to drop when they come into this truth, right? You see the wars kicking off, and you begin to anticipate the second coming of our Lord, man. And you begin to put a time stamp on when you think these prophecies should come to pass. And you put a time stamp on when you think Yahweh Shah is going to return. And then you may see things blow up and escalate, and it may seem like this is it. And then Yahweh Bashmi Shai, he quells and pulls things back down, man, and pacifies the situation. And that begins to make a lot of brothers and sisters go back in the world because they thought that that was it, but it wasn't it, man. There's always more that has to unfold, right? For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. So we are not of them who draw back, man. And God knows, man, you have brothers and elders been in this truth 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, maybe more, man. And nobody knows, there's no number on the countless amount of Israelites that have come into this truth and went back into the world, man. And maybe they were in this thing 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, five months, right? Doesn't necessarily say. But you do have men and women who draw back. And they think they're drawn back into their family. They think they're drawn back to acceptance. They think they're drawn back to money. They're drawn back into perdition, destruction. We are not of them who go back to be destroyed, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul, right? Let's get another quick precept real quick. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, right? The 3rd chapter. Actually, let's go to the 4th chapter. Salaki, this is Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 1. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. And that's another thing, man. There's nothing like running a race just to come short and not cross the finish line. Some people false start. Some people run out of gas. Some people, they run out of steam. Some people, they trip and fall. Some people, man, they heart not in it and they give up mid-stride. Some people pull a hamstring. Some people get damn near to the finish line and they pass out, man. And they're this close to the finish line. Or they're not paying attention. They're watching everybody in the stands, man, trying to point out their mother and their father. And they let people pass them by and they lose the race. You don't want to come short. This is not a race that you want to come short of. This is not something that you want to get to the last minute and then you kind of just give up. Here we are in the end of the world, man. Trump is in office. All hell is breaking loose on the earth. Wars, seditions, uprisings, tumults, troubles, famines, Jacob's trouble brewing up. And you want to just come short and be mindful of the things that you had in the world, man, instead of letting it go. It reads, for unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith and them that heard it. So the gospel is nothing new. Don't believe that the gospel just started in the book of Matthew, right? Or Isaiah. The gospel goes all the way back to the time of Moses. It says, for unto us, meaning the elect. That's who he's writing to, the church of Hebrews, right? The Israelites. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. Who's to them? Our forefathers that died in the wilderness. So they had the gospel preached unto them. The covenant, the promises. You understand? That's part of the gospel. The blessings. The inheritance and the things that you will receive. If you were willingly and obedient. They received the gospel. And we received the gospel. But what? But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. So the word does profit. How did the word not profit them? Because they didn't believe the word. That's why it didn't profit, because they didn't believe. It reads, for we which have believed do enter into rest. As he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. So When the Lord created the Sabbath, what the Lord did was created a figure of an eternal rest that's coming to the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. So we're going to enter into rest. We're going to enter into this time of peace and tranquility. And this is not our rest, man. Your job is not your rest. Getting this money is not your rest. You understand? Trying to be a family man and dealing with your family in the world or celebrating these holidays is not your rest, man. Doing this work that we can get the hell out of here, that's how we're going to get rest, man. Right? Believing in this word is how we're going to get rest. Watching these prophecies. That's what we always ask. Are you watching? Are you paying attention? Right? To what the Most High is doing on the earth. Let's get Luke real quick, chapter. Actually, let's go to Mark. We'll get that instead. Right? Let's go to Mark, the 13th chapter. And we're going to dive into these current events. Right? This is the book of St. Mark, chapter 13 and verse number 28. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender and putteth forth her leaves, ye know that summer is near. So ye in like manner, when they see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors, meaning it's right around the corner. When you see the prophecies begin to unfold, there are many prophecies listed within this chapter. Wars, rumors of wars, men being deceived, false prophets, signs in the heavens, signs in the earth, right? Troubles, these things Yahushua spoke of. And when you look in the earth and you see what's playing out in these different countries and these different nations, you begin to realize that our salvation is close. It's right at the door. Verse 30, verily I say unto you that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But if that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. And this blows a lot of brothers, man, blows their mind, and they drift off, and sisters, because you can't really pinpoint when the Lord is going to return. The Lord can have a bomb drop, and you put your garment on, you shake your garment, all the dust off, man. You brothers, and you act like you was already in this thing. You sisters, you go get a dress and a head wrap, buried neath under all your damn pants and clothes, and you try to hurry up and put the garment on. Oh, here come the Lord. That's what the Lord don't give you the time and the date. Because the Negro would wait to the very last minute. You would set an alarm. 10 seconds. 3 seconds. And a lot of you jakes, you smoke that last blunt, you'll count 10, 9, 8, 7, right? And the Lord return and get the 3, and you have to put it out and do this and wait for the chariot to come. While you blow your smoke in the angel's face, man. So the Lord doesn't give you a set time. And that's to prove you, man. That's to prove you, try you, test you, right? It reads, take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. So we have to watch over our spirits, watch over the flock, watch these prophecies, see the judgments that are coming from Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, and pray that the Most High doesn't take the Holy Spirit away from us. Pray for our families and this truth that they receive the mercy of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Pray that we're counted worthy to escape all the things that are coming to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. Pray that Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai delivers us in the evil time and in the days of famine. We have to pray constantly. The Lord said in Luke 18:1, let me get this real quick. Right, I'm just get this and then we're going to kind of move on. Luke chapter 18:1, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. Because when you stop praying, you begin to faint. When you begin to faint, you're not going to wake up, man. Nobody can throw that cold water on your face, right? That prayer is your connection to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. So when you stop praying, that's it. Right? And a lot of you brothers, you don't pray how you like you're supposed to pray, man. You pray once a day. You're rushing through your prayers, right? You're thinking about the football game while you're praying, you know? So you want to get your prayer game right with Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. The Lord said, pray without ceasing. You want to get your watching game up, man, and Not spend so much time when you watching sports and vanities and diverse lusts, but you're watching what the Most High is doing on the earth. And that's going to stir you. What it's going to do is stir your spirit up and put you in a spirit where you know that this place is about to go down. Because if you're disconnected from watching, you don't know what the Most High is doing on the earth, and you're not measuring the times, and you don't know how soon we are to getting out of here. Right now, this is let's kick this off. This is from irishstar.com, right? U.S. News. It says, chilling nuclear war map shows how 75% of the United States could be wiped out. Now, who created this article? The Most High created this article. The Lord is putting the spirit in these particular publishers, editors, journalists, to be able to talk about war. There's a lot of war talk going on. There's a lot of destruction talk, a lot of death talk, right? A lot of casualty talk that the Most High is putting in the spirit of these modern day scribes, man, and these modern day journalists, right? So let's read this. And they're saying, let me read this again. Chilling nuclear war map shows how 75% of the U.S. could be wiped out. Now, what they fail to realize, simply reading this article, is that the Most High is not going to have 75% of the U.S. be wiped out. If any brother's going out and teaching that the United States is going to have 75% of the U.S. wiped out, their minds are bad. And they err, not knowing the scriptures or nor the power of the Most High. I'm going to say that again. If anybody is teaching that 75% of the U.S. will be wiped out, they err. Because 100% is going to be wiped out. The entire landmass and society is going to be burned with thermonuclear destruction. So this map that's showing 75% is really 100%. Right? This is this war that's coming on the earth, this thermonuclear holocaust, the return of our Lord Yahushua and the chariots is going to kill every single American citizen, with the exception of the elect that dwell in this land. Every one of them, huh? Your supervisor, your boss, your CEO, that bartender, the police officer, the local fire department, the grocery store. If you're not the elect, if you're not in this truth, then you're going to be destroyed, man. Let's get this precept real quick. Before we even get into the article, this is not World War II where parts of England got destroyed and, a lot of people went back to rebuild it, and Germany got destroyed and they got rebuilt again. The Lord said, they shall build, but I will throw down. The Lord said, affliction shall not rise up a second time. Right? So once this place get hit, it's over, man. Let's read that real quick. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse number 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So this is speaking about our people being resurrected to the knowledge of Yahweh Shah. These are the days where the spirit of life from the Most High is entering into us. Like I tell you in Hosea, the 6th chapter, after 2 days he will revive us, and the 3rd day we shall live in his sight. So this is the time of us being made alive, being quickened from the spirit of Yahweh Shah. Right? Verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven, saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So when Yahweh Shah returns, and we're going to talk about the chariots, because they're going to do it. They're doing another chariot debriefing. So we're going to talk about that, right? And analyze that. So when these chariots come and beam up the elect, we're going to ascend up to heaven in a spaceship. We're not going through the Pacific Ocean. We're not going through the Atlantic Ocean. There's not a new Moses that's going to part the ocean. We're not sneaking out of here. The Most High is going to deliver us with a high hand via the chariots, man. And everybody's going to see it. Let's read on. At the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. So the same time that we are delivered up, it's the same time that the destruction comes to this city. What city is this? Babylon the Great, America. Why did the Most High say a 10th part? Because 10th part, it means a complete amount, a whole amount, not 75%. And what is it, a 9th part or a 5th part? You know, it says a 10th part. 10 means a whole amount in the Bible, right? Let's prove that. Prove that with our 2 quick precepts. Let's go to Genesis, right? There's a few I'm thinking of off the top of the head. We'll get 2, right? This is Genesis chapter 31 and verse 7. And your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. Now, 10 times means a whole amount or a complete amount of times, many times, right? Meaning Jacob was constantly deceiving, or being deceived rather, by Laban. But he uses 10 times to mean a whole amount or a complete amount of times, to the point where Jacob couldn't take it no more and Jacob had to flee. Right, let's get another account dealing with this number 10. Let's go to the book of Job. Right, let's go to Job. This is Job chapter 19 and verse number 3. These 10 times have ye reproached me. Ye are not ashamed that ye make yourselves strange to me. Was it actually 10 times that the friends of Job reproached him? No, this was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Over 40 chapters, 42 chapters. But you see how the number 10 is used in a spiritual manner. So you see that 10th part, it means a complete part, a whole part. All right. Let's get one more real quick. Let's go to Matthew, the 18th chapter with the parable. Right? This St. Matthew, chapter 18, and verse number, let's start at 24. I'll start at 23. Matthew 18 and 23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. Right? Who's the king? Yahweh, Ba'ashmi Yahushua. Who are his servants? The men of Yahweh, Ba'ashmi Yahushua. Those men that are in his truth, in his knowledge. And when he had begun to reckon, then he began to look and break down the spirit of his servants. One was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. So 10,000 talents, meaning many sins, the sins that we have. It's likened unto a debt that we cannot pay back. Therefore, Yahweh Shai purchases us and liberates us and frees us from that debt and from our sins. And now we have grace in Yahweh Ba'ashmi Yahushua. But you see, 10,000 means our many sins, a complete amount of sins. So you have 10, right? You got 10,000, right? And now we have in Revelation, it says a 10th part of the city fell, which means the entire city, the entire country is going to fall. So yeah, this article, they say we have a map that shows 75% of the U.S. could be wiped out. Well, hey, that's fine. But biblically, prophetically, 100% of the U.S. is going to be wiped out. 100%. See, when people talk about the end of the world, they've watched too many movies. They watch so many movies where they think there's a villain, some bad guy. They watch too many James Bond movies, too many flicks, and this bad guy has a button. He's going to press the button and destroy the earth. And the entire earth is going to explode. Right? That's not in the Bible. There's one country prophesied to be completely destroyed. That doesn't mean the bombs aren't going to hit other places, but Babylon the Great is going to fall in its entirety. Right? Let's get this again. It reads, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000. Right? What does that mean, 7,000? It means everybody. Everybody. 7 means completion or perfection. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. Right? And the remnant were affrighted. Those that survived, that saw the missiles raining down on the earth, that got beamed up in a chariot, that looked down and saw the destruction, whose heart was beating in their chest, and their heads might have been in a guillotine, and the blade was coming down, and all of a sudden, the chariot beamed them up. Jacob's trouble was happening. They was getting chased by the military, man. Damn police dogs. You know, they ran across a brick wall. They turned around, and Esau was there with a gun, and the chariot beamed them up, man. The bombs were dropping, entering into the atmosphere, and they saw them coming, and they would start hitting different parts of the city, and it was coming to them, and then they got beamed up. So the remnant, they're going to escape by the skin of their teeth, like I tell you in Job. So that's why they were affrighted, man, because they're not going to really realize what happened. You know, like when Peter got delivered, when the angel busted him out of prison, Peter, it says he thought he saw a vision. You know, it took him a minute to come to the realization that this deliverance actually happened. This is not a vision. This is the real deal. You were delivered by an angel. So the remnant, they're going to have that same spirit, and they're going to come to the reality when they see the angel and the chariot. They're going to give glory to the God of heaven. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So let's touch on this. We're going to read a little of this article, right? It reads, a chilling Cold War era nuclear map shows how 75% of the U.S. population could be wiped out in the hardest hit areas of a nuclear conflict, with the fallout likely to spread across the country as a whole. You can see the modern day arrows, right? There should be a lot of precepts that come to your mind when you look at this picture, man. Right? You should think of a few precepts about the arrows of the Lord being shot, right, by mighty archers. Right? It reads, like I said, I'm not going to read this whole thing. It reads, an unnerving Cold War era map spells gloom for the U.S. in the aftermath of a nuclear catastrophe, forecasting up to 75% fatalities in the worst hit zones. Now, I believe there's 300 million or so people in America, right? I believe it's about 300 million people. Let's clarify that. How many people, right? Let's see. How many people are in America, right? So it's around 300 million, right? 335,893,238, right? It reads, the world's nuclear players include powerhouse nations like the US, UK, France, Russia, China, Pakistan, India, and North Korea, while Israel's arsenal remains undisclosed, right? And I wonder why. It's widely assumed to be nuclear armed, right? So if you look up countries that have the highest amount of nuclear warheads, right? Countries with nuclear warheads, right? Let's see if they give a list. Let's see. Now this is from Statista, right? So they're going to pull up what countries have the most nuclear warheads. Now, worldwide, there's over 12,000. Russia, number one. For all you people who think America is number one, is actually Russia. United States, China, France, UK, India. I'm seeing a lot of the kings of the East on here, right? I'm seeing a lot of the kings of the East, right? Pakistan, Israel, right? And so they have a number for the state of Israel and North Korea, right? And North Korea. Now, why do they have these nuclear warheads? And why did the Most High allow them to create them? Because the Most High is going to judge these nations by means of a thermonuclear war. That's why he's allowing them to build up an arsenal of ICBM missiles, man. Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, he's allowing them to do this, man. When you go to the Apocrypha, and this is something that the average American does not know. First of all, the average American, they never heard of the Apocrypha. Second of all, they haven't read 2nd Ezra 15. And they don't know why things are playing out the way they are. They don't know why Trump was elected in office. They don't know why North Korea is making a military alliance with Russia to fight against Ukraine. They don't know why these nations have missile cities and bombs. Well, the scriptures do something they've always done to our people and for our people, and that's provide clarity and provide answers and lets us know why nations are stockpiling nuclear warheads. This is Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse number 20. Behold, said the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanon's, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. So that's why you see all these nations, Russia, America, China, India, Israel, Pakistan. The Lord is doing this. He's calling them together to do this. And he's making them turn themselves one against another. To repay. What is the purpose? To repay the things that they have done to them, meaning to pay them back what they have done to the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American men. World War III is a sign that the Most High loves us. See, Christianity, the Most High's love is hugs and kisses, come as you are, do as thou wilt, music and fun and dance. And it's truth. The Most High's love is having nations build weapons of mass destruction to blow each other brains off and kill each other. That's the love that the Most High has for us. And we're familiar with that love. We've seen that love when we were in Egypt, when the Most High killed the firstborn of man and beast for us. The Lord did that, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. So this is really nothing new on how the Most High judges nations and turns them one against another and destroys them for his people. This is vengeance. There is no great, what did the Lord say in Romans, the 12th chapter, right? Let's go to Romans chapter 12 and 19. World War III is about the Most High's vengeance, man, right? Romans chapter 12 and verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith Yahweh. So don't avenge yourself. I mean, what can you do more than the Most High? You're taking away the glory from your creator. You're going to come up short if you try to avenge yourself. You don't have weapons that this devil has, man. You don't have a mind and land and the resources to go into a year-end war, year after year war, with a formidable military force. The Lord said, give place unto wrath, meaning let the Most High handle this for you. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. That's why it says in Second Ezra, what? It says, let's read this again. To turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done unto them. So what is this repay? Let's go back to Romans 12. Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. So him paying them back, it says vengeance, right? What is the definition of vengeance or revenge, right? Vengeance, punishment inflicted in retaliation for an injury or offense. Retribution, get back, payback. In blood, in tears, in wailing, in cries, in rubble and stubble and ashes. Punishment inflicted in retaliation for an injury or offense. Right? Now check this out. This cuts all these Christians who think the Most High is saving everybody and loves everybody. They don't believe the Bible. Vengeance, the act of taking revenge, harming someone. in retaliation for something harmful that they have done. And look at this, especially in the next life. So all you Edomites that you see at camp that say, well, I'm not my ancestors, I'm not my forefathers, we're different, I shouldn't have to pay for what they have done. You are your forefathers. So vengeance doesn't just deal with you in that life. It says especially in the next life. So that's their definition, man. Which means they know about regeneration, right? Let's get this real quick in Deuteronomy, right? I want to kind of go back to that article, right? This Deuteronomy chapter 32, and let's go to verse 43. I mean, this whole thing is good. Let's start at 42. Let's start at 41. This whole thing is fire, right? This Deuteronomy 32 and 40. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. That's the Lord making the oath, right? If I whet my glittering sword and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies and will reward them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood. What are his arrows? The missiles. And my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain of the captives, from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. Rejoice, O ye nations, with this people. Right? Then you have Israelites scattered abroad, right? In these different nations, with this people who know that they're his people. Right? You can see that in Romans, the 15th chapter. But he will avenge the blood of his servants. Yeah, all of the murders, the wars, the social experiments, the Tuskegee experiments, the damn cannibalism, them raping, the murder, the buck breaking, the robbing, the damn experiments they did to us in these hospitals, man. The lynchings, the decapitations, the mutilations, the humiliations, man. The ripping us apart, the tars and the feathers, man. The modern day police department, right? Damn, sicking dogs on us, stoning us, beating us, dropping bombs on us, Gatling guns, breaking in the houses, killing you while you eating your damn ice cream, man, choking you out to where you can't breathe, walking down the street, they shoot you in the back of the head, man, right? All of these things that they're the damn massive human trafficking that they have done to our people, man. Modern day, the hundreds and hundreds of years of eugenics, man. You know, all of the things that we have been victims to, what did the Most High say? He says, rejoice. So in a time of World War III, and a time of global destruction and pestilence and mayhem on the earth, we are rejoicing. Right? Rejoice, O ye nations. And we're the nations because we're scattered abroad in these nations with this people, right? Because you got Israelites who know that they're Israelites, and you have Israelites who are coming into this thing, right? For he will avenge the blood of his servants and will render vengeance to his adversaries and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. We're going to get the mercy. So these wars that you see going on, the kings of the earth are being risen up to destroy each other because it is the vengeance from on high, right? 2nd Ezra 15-21. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith Yahweh, my right hand shall not spare sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. And that's why you have these nations, the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Russia, China, Pakistan, India, North Korea, all building nuclear bombs as we speak. There's over 12,000 worldwide nuclear warheads, man. And this is the number that they give. This is the number that they report. Now, do we really think that every nation is going to show their whole hand? Some of these nations give a rough number. They give a rough estimate. I'm led to believe China has more than 500 nuclear warheads. Now, they could come out and say, no, No, you're wrong. We only have 500. And I'll say, okay. But I'm led to believe China has more than 500. You know? Even though the third, I'm led to believe they have a little bit more. So these are the things you see going on the earth, man. These are the wars you see going on. Where is this at? On the earth, man. Now, let me get this precept real quick. Let me get the classic, right? Let's go to the book. It's lucky I want it escaped me, right? But I want to get this in Second Esdras. I had two quick precepts I was thinking of. Let's go to Second Esdras, to 16th chapter. Right, most I willing I come back. Right, but this is Second Esdras, chapter 16 and verse number 28. Actually, I'll start at 34. Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse number 34. And the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So when these wars really kick off, drafts, flying to the Middle East, you got Jake and weed smoking, bug out Jake, all these nations, they're going to be drafted. They're going to be fighting in a war somewhere in Siberia, somewhere in Ukraine, somewhere in damn Syria, somewhere in Lebanon. And the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So many men are going to die. Many men are going to die. Now, we went into that article and said there's 300 million people in America. 300 million. Now, when these wars kick off and they start bringing people into these wars, that number is going to reduce. And when a 10th part of the city fall, like they say 75%, this war that's coming on the earth is going to totally annihilate America, right? And America, they're already on their way out now, right? They're already on their way out. Now, this is from Newsweek, right? This is from Newsweek. There is talk of the United States and NATO breaking off. Now, there's no confirmation on it, right? There's no confirmation. If you type in, right, Trump breaks off NATO, there's a lot of talk about Trump wanting to break off and switch up, not really break off, but switch the policies to the point where NATO either kicks them out or they leave, right? Because the world is waiting to see how Donald Trump is going to enact his policy, his foreign policy. And one of the main things is his foreign policy is on three fronts, how he's going to deal with China in the Taiwan situation, how he's going to deal with Israel and Palestine and Lebanon, and how he's going to handle Ukraine and them receiving monetary funds and military funds and personnel and training from the West. So if Donald Trump comes out and he says, you know what? We don't want any dealings with Ukraine. Russia, you could take it over. You can do what you want to do. NATO, the rest of the NATO countries, they're not going to like that. They're not going to like that at all, man. Because first of all, you're inviting Russia into your backyard. Second of all, you're drawing them into an inevitable war that they want no parts in. England, Germany, they know they don't. We saw the map. There's over 5,000 nuclear warheads. Russia has 50 times damn near the amount of nuclear warheads than damn near all in NATO. Do you think they want a war with Russia? No. So everybody's trying to see how this devil's going to move with his policies, right? And we're going to dive into this, man, because this is going to lead to a fulfillment of prophecy. Let's go to Daniel, the 8th chapter. First, let's go to First Maccabees, right? Let's go to First Maccabees, 8th chapter, right? Concerning the policy of the Romans. Now, this is Judas hearing the fame of the Romans. This is the Roman Republic, right? Not the Roman Empire, the Roman Republic. They didn't become an empire till around, most scholars say 27 BC, right? If you want to go beforehand, when Julius Caesar came into power, 40 BC or so, then you're more than welcome to take that date, right? But beforehand, they were the Roman Republic, right? And before that, they were the Roman Kingdom. So they had actual kings at one time, right? And then they had an actual republic system set up where people elected officials, and you had councils and these different men. Now, here's something I want to go into about the Romans real quick. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this Slovakia, First Maccabees 8:4, and that by their policy and patience they had conquered all that place, though it were very far from them. And the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. So one thing that the Romans, which was their benefit and their downfall, was their policies. By their policies and by their patience, they conquered the whole world. You understand? And when you look at the Roman policies and how they allowed nations to come into them and the wars that they were into, it led to them rising and being the world power as they took down the Seleucid Empire and Antiochus III and Antiochus IV and the Macedon Wars and the Battle of Corinth, and they took the Greeks down through their policy. They were able to conquer the known world. But also their policies led to their own downfall, right? Their policies that they had led to their own downfall, the debasement of currency, them overspreading their military. You understand? Them being spread too far in their borders where they couldn't control it, and they were being constantly invaded. So the same way that their policies were their benefit and allowed them to rise in the power, their policies is what ultimately destroyed the Romans. Right? If you look up, and this is a simple lookup, we're not doing an in-depth research. What caused Rome to fall? Right? Let's pull this up. And this is just simple AI overview, right? Economic issues. So they had economic policies, right? Government corruption. And when we read about this, how Rome fell, think about America. Don't just take your mind into something that has nothing to do with today. All of these policies and how they fell, let's equate it to America, because the Most High does. Didn't the Most High say in Ecclesiastes, bring it out all the time, the 3rd chapter? Right, let's get this in Ecclesiastes. Isn't this the beast that was and is not? Even he is the 8th, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, and all they that shall wonder, whose names are not written in the book of the life. You know, paraphrasing. So this is the 8th beast. This is Rome. Ecclesiastes 3:15. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 3:15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and the Most High requireth that which is past. So things that have happened in time past, events, people, their behavior, their demeanor, how they go about matters, how they judge situations, their offspring, emperors, kings, those spirits, they're back on the earth. That which have been is now, right? So when you go into this, right, I believe I had this pulled up. So the Roman Empire fell due to a number of factors, just like America is about to fall. And we went into how their policies are going to cause them to fall. Invasions. Isn't America being invaded? Don't they say you got Haitians and eating geese and swans? Ain't Venezuelans up and down Chicago, man? And the borders are damn invaded, and you have 30,000 illegal immigrants coming in every day. So you have invasions, economic issues. Doesn't America have over, what's this, $30 trillion in debt? I believe that's where we're at now. $30 trillion in debt. Government corruption. Then you have a senator getting popped in the damn federal building, man. Isn't Donald Trump an alleged felon? What case is pending? Been impeached 2 times? Isn't there government corruption? Military decline. Isn't the military declining, man? Day by day, and nobody's joining the military. You got transformers, freakism. They're saying climate change, which are natural disasters, lead poisoning, right, which is pestilence. All of these things led to the fall of Rome, right? Check this out. Other factors, and this is their policies, other factors that contributed to the fall of the Roman Empire include the division of the empire. Isn't there a division in America? Republicans, Democrats, right wing, left wing, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, pro-Harris. There's never been a greater time of division in America than the time that you're living in now. The rise of the Eastern Empire, civil wars, and overexpansion and military overspending. And America has overexpanded. They have military bases everywhere. They spend the most money on the military every year, right? What country spends the most on military? The United States. Easily. Damn near 3 times the amount of everybody else. This is overexpansion and military spending. The United States is the world's largest military spender. This is wrong. Spending and estimating. And you Negroes, you ain't getting none of this money, man. Right? All this, we want reparations. Right? See, they're telling you what they're doing, man. Here's your reparations, man. $916 billion every year. You're not getting reparations, man. You're not touching the dollar. These devils will burn the damn dollar before they give it to the Negro, man. Right? It reads, spending an estimated $916 billion in 2023 and 2024. This is more than twice as much as the next 9 countries combined, right? And this makes you think of a particular prophecy regarding them in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, right? Let's go to Daniel chapter 7 real quick. And I want to go back to this article, right, about them and NATO. This is Daniel chapter 7, right? Actually, I believe I want 20, right? Let's get this. Daniel chapter 7 and 20, right? Let's read this. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Now, this horn is America. They took down the 3 other horns that you read about in this verse. They took down France and the French, the Native American French Indian War, what they call the French Indian War, and a quasi war. They took down the Spanish and the Spanish American War. And they even bought out France during the Louisiana Purchase, right? They took down England in a Revolutionary War, and they finally defeated them in the War of 1812. So they took down these 3 horns. Now, the point that we want, it says, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Now, you go into this word stout, right? It goes into what? Let's pull this up. All right, let's go into this word stout. Babylon the Great, this horn was a little more stout than his fellows. See, this great of power, captain, chief, lord, master, stout, right? Stout means to be strong, mighty. So America, they are greater than their allies. They are greater militarily speaking. They are greater influence-wise. They are greater on every level. So that's why they're more stout than their fellows. So when you go back to this article right here, right, where is this at? Bear with me. Regarding them and NATO. Okay, it reads, did NATO, and this is part of their policy. This is their policies. Their policies are going to be their downfall. The same way Rome had policies that were their downfall. That's in Daniel 8 and 25. And by his policies and craft, he shall prosper. Right? Did NATO chief vowed to kick United States out over Trump's Ukraine plan. What we know. So let's jump down, right? It reads, rumors, and these are rumors because it's a prophecy, rumors of wars. Rumors are circulating online that NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte has said he will kick the United States out of the alliance due to President-elect Donald Trump's plan to end the war in Ukraine. Now, this should make you think of a few prophecies, man. Here you have NATO, and this is a gutsy. If this is true, not saying it's a rumor. If this is true, this is a gutsy statement, man. This is a statement that back in the 1950s, they were never dare to make. 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s. No Secretary General would even open their mouth and speak such words against Babylon the Great. And that's in the scriptures, man. The Lord said, none opened her mouth nor peeped, right? Let me get this up real quick in Isaiah. The Lord said, nobody opened her mouth nor peeped, right? Isaiah, the 10th chapter. Let's get that real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse number 14, right? So that's prophecy that in time past, nobody would speak against America. That's why it says, whose look was more stout than his fellows. So here's that prophecy, right? Isaiah chapter 10 and 14, right? Isaiah 10 and 14. And my hand hath found as a nest the riches of the people. And as one gathereth eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth. And there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped. And that's what America says, man, that they've gathered all the earth. Military bases, embassies all over the world, gay bars, churches, the United States dollar, which is a damn fiat currency federal debt note to enslave you through the International Monetary Fund and the Federal Reserve, to bring you in subjection that you may do trade. And they've conquered everybody. And there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped, man. Right? So there was a time when nobody spake against America. There was a time that you didn't say anything, man. Because if you said something, it was over. But now you got a lot of these nations, they're starting to feel themselves, man. Saying we're going to kick the United States out. That's a bold thing to say. That's a bold statement. Let's go back to this. Rumors are circulating online that NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte has said he will kick the United States out of the alliance due to President-elect Donald Trump's plan to end the war in Ukraine. The allegations on X, formerly known as Twitter, of Rutte's expulsion of the United States from NATO followed the publication of a note and provided EN, a Russian news portal, on Sunday. Right, it originated from a post on Telegram. The unsourced note said NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said, and again, this is a rumor, said that if Trump surrenders Ukraine to Putin, he will personally kick the United States out of the alliance. All NATO Secretary Generals are so feeble-minded. Stoltenberg was ready to start a nuclear war with Russia, and Rutte is the same way. Now, we don't know if this is true or not, but there is a lot of tension between NATO and Trump. Now, regardless of the validity of these statements, the prophecies cannot be broken. You are going to have events like this that take place that are going to lead America to break off, or the NATO essentially, to turn their back on America. Right? Let's get that in Obadiah. Right? Let's get that in Obadiah. Right? This is Obadiah, verse number 7. Right? Obadiah, verse 7. It reads, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. A confederacy is an alliance. People that have the same faith, the same common goals, right? The same enemies. That's what a confederacy is. So the Most High said that Esau's allies have brought them even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So the allies of America, the prophecy says they're going to turn against him. And rather that's because of how they handle China, how they handle Russia, or how they handle Israel. Their policies have and will be the downfall of America, right? Let's go to the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter. Their policies will be the downfall of America. Revelation chapter 17 and 16. And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Who are the 10 horns? The European Union. Right? Now, their military side is NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Now, NATO, they rely on the beast. They rely on the beast. America is their voice piece, their arm, their strength. The big brother, if you will, man. When everybody speaks against Germany, they run behind America's back. When they speak against England, they run behind America's back. Because they know that America, Babylon the Great, have power. And they know that they have subdued God's people. See, a lot of people think that these nations trust America because of America's military or America's policy. No, America is holding captive the children of Israel on a massive level. These world leaders know who the Israelites are. And they're looking at America as if they can conquer God's people, I should be their friend. I should be their ally. I don't want to upset the people that conquered the people of God. Because if they can conquer them, they can conquer me. But now it's getting to the point where these nations are beginning to wake up from this wine. We're going to get that in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. And wake up from this trance that they're in and disregard. You know? So they're going to hate America, which is the whore, and make her desolate and naked, expose her, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree, that's a confederacy, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God should be fulfilled. So they're going to give their kingdom unto the beast. They're going to allow America to be their head, to be that stout horn. Not forever, until they are destroyed by the EU, right? By the EU. So you have this tension going on with the United States and NATO. Now, again, this is a rumor. This is a rumor. But I'm led to believe these world leaders in the EU, I believe Macron, who's the prime minister of France, he's outspoken. And he already started making moves. Now, he could come out and say, I didn't, but we watching you. He already started making moves. He visited China. I think he visited Putin. And he's already trying to set up France. Turkey, they're already looking to break off of NATO. They're like a woman in a relationship who is physically there, but mentally and emotionally, they're already left. That's Turkey. Turkey's there on paper, but Turkey's not there in the spirit. France is there on paper, but France ain't looking to make moves. Right? Macron, he's making moves, right? Macron visits China. Look at this. They got a France-China summit. Isn't America beefing with China? What is France doing linking up with the enemies, man? You know? So he's looking to make moves. He's looking to make moves. So he visits China, trying to make stuff shake, man, with China. This guy France, Macron, I believe he visited Russia not too long ago, man. So he's playing chess, and it's not going to help him. Right? He fled. Look at this. Macron, this was a few years ago. Macron and Putin meet in Moscow, right? To try to stop this tension. So there's already been this buildup, right? There's already this buildup between these European nations and the hatred they have towards America. So when Trump gets in office, if Trump's policy is contrary to NATO, I'm certain that tension is going to rise. We're certain, right? Let's go to Habakkuk, the second chapter, right? Habakkuk, the second chapter. We know that tension is going to rise. Habakkuk chapter 2, Habakkuk 2 is a beautiful chapter. And it's about Babylon the Great and their downfall, right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. That's through his policies, right? That's how he enlargeth his desire. He expands. Imperialism, if you will. Imperialism has allowed Western European nations. Now you got China getting involved and in Russia, but France, America, Germany, Belgium, imperialism, chiefly America, them conquering parts of Asia, the Philippines, and going to Hawaii and taking down Cuba, going to Cuba and going to Alaska and buying that and taking this land and manifest destiny, saying that they have the God-given right to wipe out every so-called Native American that ever breathed, every so-called Seminole Indian. They believed that they had the God-given right to rape your women, molest your children, murder your fathers, burn your houses, and steal your land. This is their policies, right? We always go into the manifest destiny, right? Let's pull it up again as a testament of Esau's wickedness and bloodlust. Manifest destiny was the 19th century belief that the United States was destined to expand westward across America, right? The term was first used in 1845 by John L. O'Sullivan, the editor of the United States Magazine and Democratic Review. In an essay about the annexation of Texas, and they stole Texas. There was a false flag they did to get Mexico involved in the war to take that land. Oregon, Washington, Arizona, California, Utah, Nevada, all those states, right? But it reads, Sullivan believed that the United States had a God-given right to expand westward, right? A God-given right. Right? So let's go back to this. Habakkuk. So this is how they gathered all nations through their corruption and policies. Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So a lot of these nations that America has been oppressing, they're going to start waking up and start talking talk. How long, man? It's over with, man. You think you're going to rule us forever? That's what France is saying. That's what the EU is saying. They've had enough. They had it up to here with your madness, man. Your wars, your bombs, your fights. America's that drunk friend in the club that's always starting fights and getting you locked up. America's that friend in the car when the police pull you over, they always got something to say. No, I'm getting out the car. I'm getting out the car. You try to calm. No, I got something I got to say. So you get out the car and now you're all in jail, man. America's that friend. You out shopping and they stealing, right? And you get jammed up with them. They damn shoplifting. They putting stuff in their damn bag and you get jammed up with them. That's America to the European Union. That drunk, thief, fool, bold man who takes down everybody associated with him. And eventually, like any friendship or any relationship, eventually you have enough. I can't kick it with you no more. Every time I'm involved with you, I'm getting shot at. I'm getting robbed. I'm going to jail. I'm getting jammed up. My family's at risk. Hey, look, it's I can't deal with you no more. And that's how the EU is feeling. Like the precept says, like we bring out in Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter, travel not with a bold fellow, for he will do according to his will, and thou will perish with him in his folly. So all of these nations, they're rising up against America, right? Verse 7, should they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. So all these nations are going to rise up and rob you. Here's why. Verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, meaning you've robbed many people. You've robbed America. You have robbed people of their sanity, of their peace, their cultures, their morals, their land, their resources, their oils, their golds, their children you have taken and sex trafficked. Their women you have popped and raped. Their fathers you have killed and humiliated. You have burned down their relics, their buildings, their religious structures. You have replaced them with McDonald's, Burger Kings, churches, embassies, military bases, gay bars, damn Starbucks, and all manner of American witchcraft. You have robbed nations and spoiled them and have enslaved them. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, meaning murder, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein, right? And of all that dwell therein. So let's jump down in this article right here regarding NATO kicking out the United States, right? Which would be a bold move. It would be one of the boldest moves in Western civilization to kick out America out of NATO, a founding member, the backbone, right? Let's read this. When discussing his plans for the war in Ukraine, Trump has previously said that he would end it within 24 hours. And in addition to pushing for a ceasefire, his advisors uniformly recommend freezing the war in place. Newsweek, Slovakia, has found that Root made no statements regarding the U.S. alleged expulsion from NATO on social media platforms, right? So they're saying that was a rumor, right? It reads, Newsweek reached out to Trump campaign for comment via web form and email, respectively, outside of working hours. So regardless of this being a rumor or not, right, whether it is or not, or whether they declined it, we don't really know. He could say, no, we didn't say that. Maybe he got caught saying it and he denied it. The point is, you will have tension once Trump kicks off his policy or how he wants to go about ending the war in Ukraine, right? How he's going to end the war in Ukraine. That is another thing going on. So the EU is already tripping. They're already stressed out, right? Because here's what they're dealing with. Here's what they're telling their people. Europeans advised to stock up on food and water in case of war with Russia. So they're telling all of their citizens, buy as much canned food as you can. They call them MREs. Get your beans, your non-perishable goods. I believe they told them you need as much food and water to save for 72 hours. Because most people say, most scientists and most people that study people, they say that most people, you got 72 hours. After 72 hours, that's when the massive death happens, right? So it reads, and this article is from, if you want to find this, it's MSN, right? This is from last week, I believe November 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, right? November 3rd. It reads, Europeans are advised to stock up on food and water. This is necessary in case of war or another major emergency, according to Newsweek. A report on civil and military preparedness in Europe, published on Wednesday, was written by former Finnish President Sauli Niinisto, right? Who is a special advisor to the president of the European Commission. Look at this, the 165-page report, and he put that man to work, man, has already been presented to the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, right? It emphasizes that the EU is not prepared for either the pestilence or Russia's aggression against Ukraine. And it needs to shift from reaction to proactive preparedness. So, these people are stressing out, man. They're sweating. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Shelves are going empty. Look at this. People are damn panic buying. Let me see if I can rewind this. Okay, they won't let me rewind it. Right? But they're going out telling these people, times are changing, man. Times are changing. Right? Times are changing. So if you live in England, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Germany, Denmark, Scotland, they're telling, look, they say 72 hours. Check that out. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, I can go back. Let me actually play this. Right? Let me actually play this. So I can go back. Now they're giving you a time limit. They're even telling you 72 hours, 72 hours. And most people that study events of catastrophe, they always give that 72-hour timeline. They've always done that. It's nothing new. Now check this out. Let's see if we can play this. That's what they're saying. Look, man, we don't want war. We're willing to kick out Trump and America. You're scaring our people. You're troubling households because you refuse to handle this war with Russia and Ukraine the right way. Now check this out. As part of this strategy, the EU should advise households to be prepared to be self-sufficient. And a lot of these warnings that you see going on throughout the world, they may come to America, man. Now in other countries like Japan, China, they actually do drills where they find the nearest nuclear fallout shelter or the nearest nuclear underground bunker. Other nations have brochures, they have maps, they train their youth up. Part of their curriculum for their children is how to find the nearest fallout shelter, how to find out where the nuclear bunker is. The average American, they're playing video games, they're getting high, they're smoking damn. They got the cans now. You know what the kids are doing. They got the cans. I can't think of what it is off the top of the head. They're taking the damn cans, man, and snuffing the damn cans. You know, that's what Jake is doing now, and the average American, man, they're taking damn cheese whiz, man, you know, and whipped cream, and getting high. And you got the EU kids, and they citizens. They're getting ready for war. Right? What the brother said, whippets, whippets. Right? The Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shah is not dealing with whippets, man. Now they say you got 72 hours. For a minimum of 72 hours in the event of an emergency, the report says. Now, a lot of people, imagine somebody tell you get 72 hours worth of food. Enough is never enough if somebody tells you that, because there's no limit, like where you say, okay, this is 72. You're looking at your cart, okay, that's 72. That's 71 hours worth of food. All right, let me get this last bag of beans. That's 72. Let me go home. Nobody's going to think like that. Enough is never going to be enough. So you tell somebody they need 72 hours worth of food and water, they're going to take, damn, that times 3. And everybody's going to take it. And they're going to rob. They're going to trample old ladies. And they're going to push old men down. And they're going to snatch a bag of beans from a 5-year-old who's looking for his mother in aisle 3, man. And they're not going to wait at the cashier. And a security guard, he's looking to eat too. So he's not going to stop anybody, man. These security guards, these people, let me see your receipt. Ain't going to be none of them no more, man. They got to eat too. They got families. They got stomachs too, man. You think these people that say, when you leave in Walmart, let me see your receipt, you think those are robots? Those are flesh and blood. They got stomachs. They need to eat too. They got sons. They got daughters. They couldn't retire and go to damn Tijuana and Miami like the rest of these old people, man. They got to work. And they got to eat. So they're not looking to stop no damn body, man, from stealing. They're going to be doing their own damn thing. So when this comes to America, which it will, it's going to be worse. It's going to be handled worse than how it's handled overseas. Now, I'm not going to put a precept on the screen, but I'm going to read this because a famine is coming too, man. Anytime you have war, you have famine, right? Or anytime you have famine, you have war. They work hand in hand. When you have war and famine, you have poverty. When you have poverty, you have crime. When you have crime, people that don't have any defense and they're defenseless, they get attacked. Women get attacked. Children get attacked. Kidnapping goes up. Rape goes up. Murder goes up. Injustice goes up. Disease goes up. Sanitation goes out the window. Sicknesses occur because of lack of sanitation and control procedures for outbreaks and diseases. There's no policing. People are going to police themselves according to their own laws. So when this begins to hit Babylon the Great and America, it's going to be a lot worse than how it is in these foreign lands. Now, let's read this real quick in 2nd Ezra. Chapter 15, and again, I'm gonna just read it. I'm not gonna put it up on the screen, but this 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse number, let's start at 19, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 15 to 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So people are going to be spoiling people's houses, man. Breaking in houses. See, all these Edomites, man, that you think that you live far off, people are going to find you. Ain't going to be no more food in the hood, man. Like beasts, when beasts run out of food, when they eat the pastures, they migrate. Buffaloes, herds of elephants, cows, they migrate, man. They'll eat the food, then they go look to the next field. People that hunt, hunter-gatherers, archaic lifestyles, they follow. Once they're done hunting, they follow the flock of buffaloes and bisons. People, once food run out of these corner stores, liquor stores, delis, food, fast food spots, man, convenience stores, gas stations. A lot of these Arabs behind these glass counters, they're going to die, man. I can see it already. That thick glass ain't going to be able to protect you, man. These YNs, they call them YNs now. And these YNs, man, these Jakes, they're going to be pulling on that damn door, man. They got guns too, man. And you got stuff behind that glass that they want, man. They want those black and milds, man. They want those damn Rellos. They want those lighters, those cigarettes. They're gonna sell them. They're gonna get, because when you got crime, you got people that want to escape reality, man. That's why drug epidemics are in more impoverished communities, man. Because people, they're gonna look to get high. They're gonna hit these pharmacies and they're gonna open the next damn bottle of Zoloft and they're gonna pop whatever's inside. They're gonna pop that damn pill and they're gonna lose their damn mind to escape from their stomach growling and their children begging for the next meal. So people, they're gonna look to get their fix, man. It's gonna be a problem. So when they run out of food, they're gonna find out where these they're gonna hit these suburbs, man. Jake know where the suburbs at. They don't really go out there where East, but they know where it's at. And they're gonna go out there. You Edomites, man, you're gonna get caught out there. And people they're gonna be breaking in your houses, man. Jake gonna be looking to break in your house, man. Like I always say, when your stomach got questions, people's hands gonna have the answers, man. And they're gonna answer well. And you're gonna be a victim if you're not under the protection of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? Let me read that again. 2nd Ezra 15-19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So you don't care if you got a 3-year-old. Oh, you're gonna take food out of my daughter's mouth, man? Right? My wife. They don't care about that. The Lord said in Matthew the 24th chapter that the love of many iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold. And Matthew 24:12 on down. And 2 Timothy chapter 3:1 on down, it says, a perilous time shall come. Men should be lovers of themselves, not loving you. Now, they ain't gonna love you, they're gonna love themselves, and they're gonna do what they gotta do. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now, this 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 22. And many of 2nd Ezra 16 and 22, and many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. So it's going down, right? It's going down. Let's play the rest of this. And we're not worried about that. Well, what am I going to do? I don't have enough food. Do I start shopping now? I don't know what to do, right? We're not worried about that. Yahweh Shem Yahushua said, my servant shall eat, man, but ye should be hungry. My servant shall drink, but ye should be thirsty. Right? That's what the Lord said in Isaiah, the 65th chapter, verse 13 on down. Right? So we're going to eat, man. We're going to be taken care of if Yahweh Shem Yahushua has mercy on us. Right? So it says, as part of this strategy, the EU should advise households to be prepared to be self-sufficient. What does it mean, be self-sufficient? No police, no grocery stores. Don't be sufficient on the fire department. You can't be sufficient or Postmates, Grubhub, DoorDash, damn, all of that, right? You have to be able to be sufficient for yourself. That's a tall task to the man that's used to damn DoorDash and ordering a deep dish and eating a hoagie and stuffed crust and midnight snacks and gummy bears and Snicker bars and lewd diverse vanities, man, that he eats hours on end. And the average American is slothful. They're sedentary. They're eating a Big Mac, Coca-Cola, and they're watching damn whatever comes on TV, man. Their Monday special on ABC. So they're not going to be able to survive 72 hours. They're out of shape. They don't know what's going on, and they're going to get caught out there. That's how it's going to be. Look at this. This Edomite boy, he tripping. He losing his mind. He got his hands on his head like this, freaking off, right? You got old Esau in the basement. It's cold. Heat going to stop running. Plumbing's going to stop working. A toilet's going to be backed up. Flies, right? Rats, mice, roaches are going to increase. Itching, scratching, sweating, stank, dirtiness, filth, depression, anger, irritability, frustration, anxiety. These spirits, they're naturally going to be invited. And the Most High is going to welcome them. He's tripping. He's losing his mind. Dysfunctional school shooter. You know? So it says the report notes that while the threat of Russian aggression is felt most by its immediate neighbors, right, like Ukraine, Poland, Romania, right, etc., against an EU member state would impact all of the bloc's 27 countries, right? All 27 countries. So let's go back. I'm gonna read a little bit more in that article, and I want to move on to the next thing. So this is Salaki, bear with me. So nations are going to get hit, man. They're going to get hit by this. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'm going to read this part. It reads, let's see. EU member states are also advised to provide their citizens with guidance on stockpiling, supplies, evacuations, and access to emergency services, among other things. As part of this strategy, the EU should advise households to be prepared to be self-sufficient for a minimum of 72 hours. A survey included in the report outlines various necessities for households in case of any emergency, including food, drink, and medicine supplies, a flashlight, and a battery-operated radio. The advice aims to prepare EU citizens for emergencies ranging from other pestilence to extreme weather or armed aggression. So you know you're in the end of the world. This is the end of the world. See, the EU wasn't like this after World War II, man. Europe wasn't like this in the 1800s, 1900s, you know? But now, America or the European Union, which is the cornerstone of robbery and the beast and murder, it's judgment now that they're beginning to tell their citizens, get ready to experience what we made everybody else experience. That's judgment. That's why Yahweh Shmuel Shah said, I would liken my judgment into a ring. Because don't you know when they went and they invaded the entire world, that these leaders had to tell their people a famine is coming. Here's these devils. They ran out of food. They ran out of water, man. They ran out of resources. They had things stolen from them. They starved to death. They died to death. So now it's judgment that the Most High is putting that spirit on these nations of the EU to experience how they made Israel and other nations feel and what we went through, man. Right, let's get that in Galatians real quick. This is the divine judgment of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. Right? Let's go to Galatians, right? Chapter 6. Right? Galatians chapter 6 and verse number 7. For hundreds of years, they've made every dark nation experience famine, right? And turmoil. And the so-called white man and our people, we didn't have the resources to tell our people, here's your 72-hour plan, right? Here's what here's what you do when we don't have no food, when the British come, when the Dutch come, when the French come, and they take you to Haiti, or they take you, to these different islands, man. We didn't have time to prepare. So now you see this is judgment. The Lord is getting these nations riled up and judged for what they have done to us as a people. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Right? That shall he also reap. So you have to go through what you made others go through. Right? That's playing upon tables. Right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. And they're not going to be able to escape this, man. They're not going to be able to escape the judgment that the Most High has in store for them. Right? Now, I want to get this real quick in Wisdom of Solomon, right? Let me get this. I want this in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11. And I want to move on to the next thing, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh. Bashmi Yahushua, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, and verse number 16. It reads, that they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. And that's plain, man. That's why men that commit adultery, they die in the act of adultery. Right? You want to go and you want to deal with another man's wife while he's at work and he's providing for his 5 to 7 kids, and you want to be a demon and you want to lay down with his wife and commit adultery. Don't be surprised if you die in the act of adultery. Don't be surprised if you get shot in the back of the head, or somebody damn kidnap you and throw you in the back of a damn trunk and beat you to death with a baseball bat, blow your brains out and bury you in the middle of the damn woods, man. That's the Lord said, jealousy is the rage of a man. He will not spare in the day of vengeance. These nations that destroyed the firstborn of Israel, the Lord killed their firstborn. The same, it says that they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. So if you remove the landmark, I can tell you in Job 24 concerning the EU, but if you have robbed the fatherless and the widow and the stranger and have oppressed the nations, that's how you're going to get punished. You're going to go through a famine. You're going to go through hardships. You're going to go through starvation because you made other nations starve. And that's the just divine judgment from the Almighty Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. Right? Another thing going on in the earth. Right? This is pull this up real quick. Now this is Salakia. This is regarding, bear with me, the chariots, of course. Right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. So there have been more chariot sightings, and we always got to touch on the chariots, man. Right? We have to touch on the chariots because this is by the means of our deliverance. Right? So there was a huge chariot sighting that just happened. I'm not sure if brother saw it or not. You can look it up. And I believe it was Nevada, right? I believe last week or the week prior. It was a huge, and it was an actual sighting of a fathership. Now, we don't call it a mothership. We're not a matriarchal, feminine society, right? Or kingdom. Masculinity, right? So we have a fathership that the Most High created. Now, there was sightings of the fathership. There were sightings of the chariots. Now, you got the U.S. They said they're going to hold a UFO hearing this week, right? Now, let me read this real quick. And I want to see if I can actually pull that footage up. I want to see if I can actually find that footage of the chariot that was seen, right? U.S. Congress will hold another UFO hearing this week. Here's how to watch. Americans deserve to understand what the government has learned about UAP sightings. And if I'm not mistaken, UAP is unidentified aerial phenomena, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? They always switch it up. It reads, and the nature of any potential threats to these phenomena pose, right? It reads, let me jump down. The U.S. government is holding another hearing on UFOs this week, and you can watch it live. Now, guess what? We don't have to watch that. Now, we don't have to watch what they have to say about the UFOs. You know why? Because we already know about the UFOs. We know about the chariots. We don't need Esau to hold a hearing on any information that he found about the chariots, man. All the information about the chariots, what they are, who created them, what purpose they serve for us, what purpose they serve for these heathen, that's already documented. The Lord already had a hearing with Jeremiah, with Isaiah, with John, with Ezra, with our fathers. There was already a hearing by our forefathers and for mothers, man. You know? So we don't need to, okay, well, what does Esau have to say? Wow. We're not shocked, you know? And the Lord said in Deuteronomy, let me get this real quick, in Deuteronomy 29, right? We're not going to be amazed by what your findings are, right? Deuteronomy chapter 29 and 29, right? The secret things belong unto Yahweh, our God. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. So there are things that belong only to the Most High. But then it says, but those things which are revealed belong unto us. And when you look up in the sky, rather daytime or at nighttime, and at nighttime, you see the stars. You see the constellations, Pleiades, Arcturus, Mazzaroth, right? You see what they call the Orion's belt, the Big Dipper, the seven stars, or you see these different constellations. There are times when you're looking in the sky and you see a light. And if you've seen a chariot, then that's a blessing. If you're watching this live and you've seen a chariot, that is a blessing. And if you haven't seen one, you will see one if you're part of that number, right? And there are times when you're looking up, it could be in the daytime, and you see chariots just flying over your head. Now they're far away, so you're not able to see the wheel within a wheel, and see that the rings that are dreadful and the angel that move with it. But you've seen these chariots fly over your head, which is a manifest token of our deliverance and the destruction of our enemies and our adversaries. That was revealed unto us. And we're the only ones that see that. Everybody else, they're preoccupied. They're on their phone. They're making a wish on a shooting star. They're looking for the planet, Jupiter, but they're not keen and privy to what the Most High is showing in the heavens. That belongs unto us. Even the constellations in the firmament, that belongs unto us and what they mean. It belongs to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Right? Now, the chariot is what you call, or the UFO in the Bible is called the chariot. Right? My father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. Right? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 10 and verse number 9. Right? Ezekiel actually saw it up close, man. He saw it in a way that we haven't seen unless you saw it. And a lot of you brothers, you sisters, you saw the chariots. You may not have seen them in person, but you saw them in dreams. And when you see them in dreams, they're a lot more vivid and detailed than how you saw it in person. Usually in person, it's far away, and oh, that's a chariot right there. It's kind of moving fast. It's going that way. And the Most High will show you in dreams and visions. You might have got beamed up in the chariot in the dream. You might have saw the chariots coming to destroy, Babylon the Great, New York City, man, or London or LA. You might have saw Yahweh Shah, the angels. Now Ezekiel, he saw the visions of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. He saw the angels. He saw the chariots. He saw what you call UFOs. This is Ezekiel chapter 10 and verse number 9. And when I looked, behold, the four wheels by the cherubim, one wheel by one cherub, and another wheel by another cherub. And the appearance of the wheels was as the color of a beryl stone. So we saw four chariots by these spirits. Right? Now, it says the appearance of the wheels was the color of a beryl stone. Now, why are they called wheels? Right? Because they have a circular motion and shape, the same way a wheel has a shape, and a wheel spins. So the chariot spins. That's why Ezekiel called it a wheel. Right? Now, you may call it there was a term where they would call it a flying saucer. Right? Now it looks like a wheel, but the color that Ezekiel saw, this is what Ezekiel saw right here. Right? This is what he saw. Now you can say, well, he didn't see that. This is what he saw this. No, this is what he saw. Well, how do you know? You wasn't there. We don't have to be there, man. We see it through the spirit. I don't believe that. All right? I don't believe that. Okay, well, brother, you don't have to believe in it, man. This is for the faithful. This is for the faithful, man. Who do you think Esau gets his ideas from? Hollywood, his movies, his action flicks, his dramas, his sci-fi. He gets it from the scriptures, man. Right? Now that's something different. But here's a chariot right here. Right? What they call a flying saucer. And that light is that what you call the tractor beam. What they call an anti-gravity force that beams you up. Now the one that he saw was the color of beryl. So if you look up a beryl stone, right? It's like one beryl stone. It can be a light green, right, to like an emeraldish kind of looking color. So here's beryl, and it could be different beryls. You have a blue beryl, like a greenish beryl, just the color that Ezekiel saw. Right? You got different beryls. Right? You got different beryls. Now, when you go back to this in Ezekiel, right, it reads in the Ezekiel 10:9, the latter end of the precept, and the appearance of the wheels was as the color of a beryl stone. So this was an up close and personal vision. This was up and close, right? And as for their appearances, they four had one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel. So he saw one part of the chariot spinning one way, and then another larger part, he saw it spinning another way. Rather, one was counterclockwise and the other one was clockwise, or vice versa. But he saw one wheel in the midst of a wheel. And that's why you have this right here, man. Right? And when you see these in motion, see, Esau tries to duplicate it. It's one wheel in the midst of a wheel. And they're not operated by green angel or green aliens with tentacles and one eyeball. This isn't The Simpsons, man. These aren't Martians. Marvin the Martian. So this isn't Space Jam. They aren't from a galaxy far, far away to harvest human organs and the resources of America to colonize the earth and make this a colony. They're not going to come down and the press is out there and there's a red carpet and they want to interview the damn aliens. Now that part is fiction, madness and utter folly. See, when these chariots come, like we always say, they're coming for two reasons, and two reasons only. There's not a third. They're coming for two reasons: to destroy and to deliver. Like we always say, man, to extract and to exterminate, man. That's what they're coming for, to destroy and deliver. Let's go to the book of Revelation, right? Chapter 1, right? This is Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so amen. So Yahushua is coming with the clouds, not rain clouds, not thunder clouds, unidentified, what the world calls unidentified flying objects. Everybody's going to see these chariots, even the Jews, even the Romans that played a part in killing and murdering our king, committing a regicide, right? And all kindreds of the earth are going to wail, man. There's going to be a great yell and scream when Yahushua returns. And the world, if you haven't seen them up close and personal, you will in that day. And they're called clouds because they're aerial, they're in the sky. Okay, right? That's what they're called, clouds or whirlwinds. Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. So Ezekiel called it a great cloud, like what? A father ship. That's what you call a father ship right there. You got shuttle ships. Like you may have a huge father ship, and there are other smaller chariots that come out of that. Those are shuttle ships. And then the great cloud is operated by Yahushua and archangels and higher powers and spirits. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 104. Right? I want to go back to that article, but this Psalms chapter 104 and verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. So Yahushua made the cloud his chariot. A chariot is a war vehicle for transportation and destruction. So that's why they're called the chariot as well. Because the chariot serves two purposes: for transportation, to get you from point A to point B. And chariots are used in war. So these vehicles that you see, they're used for transportation, to transport the angels, to transport men from Babylon the Great to the kingdom of heaven, right? To the land of Israel. And they're also for war. All right. That is the purpose of an ancient chariot. Therefore, the characteristics that you see manifest in earthly chariots have been attributed to the vehicles of God. That's what they're called, the chariots of Israel and the horsemen thereof. Right? Let's get that real quick. That's 2 Kings. Right? 2 Kings, the second chapter. 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 12. This is Elisha watching Elijah get abducted. Right? Yes, he was abducted. He was led away. Right? He was led away. That's what the word means. Yahushua was abducted. Right? Enoch was abducted. We're going to be abducted. We're going to be led away, taken away. Now, don't get spooked out. You're getting spooked out on the word abducted. Abducted. I'm going to probe my mind. No, ab is Latin for away, and duct means lead or to lead. So when you're abducted, you're led away. It has nothing to do with an alien putting you on a stretcher and probing your mind. Like that TV show they had. I remember that TV show growing up, man. right? What was that? Abducted by aliens, right? They had that TV show back in the day, man. And then they would have these guys on it was an older TV show, right? I don't know if brothers remember that, but it used to come on, man. And you would have these people on there giving these stories of how they got damn abducted, man. And an alien ran experiments on them and was talking to them, and they felt pain when they landed, and they spake another language. That's nothing but BS, folly, and lies. Those people were paid to say that, to deceive the simple, to buy into the agenda of the so-called white man. The only ones that are going to be truly led away are the elect. You know, 2 Kings chapter 2 and 12. And Elisha saw, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his clothes and rent them in two pieces. See that? So he called it the chariot. And the horsemen are likened to angels, right? Because they represent power and strength and might. And the horsemen, they actually control the chariot. When you watch a chariot in action, it's being driven by horsemen. The same way that the spirit of the angel is in the wheels, right? So that's why you always see chariot and a horseman. Horsemen literally pull an ancient chariot. The driving force of the chariot is operated by the horseman, which means the so-called UFO, the spirit of it is operated by the spirit of the angels. You read that in Ezekiel. It says the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels, right? Now, let me get that in Ezekiel, the first chapter, right? Let's see if they actually... Okay, it's in this chapter as well. So I'm going to jump down a little bit in Ezekiel chapter 10 and verse number 11. Then I'm going to jump down, right? Ezekiel 10 and 11. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not as they went, but to the place whither the head looked, they followed, they turned not as they went. And he's talking about these angels. They have four faces. They didn't have to turn, right? And their whole body, and their backs, and their hands, and their wings, and the wheels were full of eyes round about, even the wheels that they four had. So he saw the lights on the wheels, right? The chariots. And he saw the angels who have four faces with two sets of eyes on each face. One ox, eagle, man, and a lion. Right? And he said the wheels had eyes. All right? Let's read on. Ezekiel 10 and 13. As for the wheels, it was cried unto them in my hearing, O will. And every one had four faces. The first face was the face of a cherub. The second face was the face of a man. The third was the face of a lion. And the fourth was the face of an eagle. Right? So we had a cherub, a lion, an eagle, and a man. And the cherubims were lifted up. This is the living creature that I saw by the river Chabar. So he saw these actual spirits with four faces. And the lion, the cherub, the eagle, and the man, they all represent the epitome of power and strength. The eagle represents strength and power. The lion is the strongest amongst beasts, to that in Proverbs 30 and 30. Man has dominion over every creature, and the cherub is a spirit created by the Most High. So that actually is used for covering, right? That's why you have cherubims that cover the mercy seat, right? But we can go into that. We'll go into the cherubims and those spirits in another lesson. Here's Ezekiel 10 and 16. And when the cherubims went, the wheels went by them. And when the cherubims lifted up their wings to mount up from the earth, the same wheels also turned not from beside them. So wherever the angel moved, the chariot moved. If the angel go up, the chariot go up. Just like a horseman. If the horse goes left, the wheels of the chariot goes left. If the horseman tells his chariot to go right, the wheels of the chariot goes right. Same thing, wherever the angel go, that's where the chariot goes. So whenever you see chariots in the sky moving, there are angels, the horsemen, that are there as well. The chariots don't operate on cruise control or autopilot. All right. They are operated by the spirits that control them. And a chariot is a spirit. It's not made from elements of the earth, it's a spirit. You know, verse 17, when they stood, these stood. And when they were lifted up, these lifted up themselves also. For the spirit of the living creature was in them. So when we're inside, Most High willing, we're inside that chariot, there's going to be an actual spirit in that chariot. You know, the spirit of relief amongst us, you know, the spirit of deliverance, but also the spirit of the living creature, of the angel, is going to be manifest inside of that chariot. You know, and that's how it is. So we don't need a debriefing from the United States government. They're going to talk about what they want the public to hear. They're not going to talk about what they want the people to know, right? Because if they really, because they know about the chariots, man. They know about, you know, what we're going into. They know about these spirits, man. You know, let's go to Matthew, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. We're not going to get every precept on the chariot, but let's go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 30. Let's start at 29. Matthew 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. So World War III is going to be at its peak as Jacob's trouble is climaxing and or reaching its end. And bombs are going to be dropping, and World War III is going to be at an all-time high. The powers of the heavens are various kingdoms. Those same kingdoms that we went over earlier with high nuclear warheads, Israel, China, America, Russia, Pakistan, France, all those countries are the powers of heavens, right? That are going to be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So you got these chariot sightings, man. You have, where is this at? UFO swarms filmed buzzing over so-called Area 51 and other U.S. military sites, right? And I wanted to see if I could find a video. I couldn't really find it. Let me see. So they got this one right here. They're saying that UFOs, chariots, see if I can play this, are swarming over military bases. So let's try to play this real quick. Right? Let's see if we can play this through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now it's 4 minutes. We're not going to play every second of it, but let's see if we can see what they're saying was.
Okay.
You can see them.
Wonder where they're going.
Now, if this is an Edomite recording, they're calm because they don't know what they're looking at. If they knew what they were looking at, they wouldn't be calm.
1, 2, 3 orbs or planes.
She called them orbs. And sometimes the chariot, they will come out looking like a light orb, and then it'll branch off and split, and it'll get larger, you know? or they'll condense and come together.
Orbs pretending to be planes. Yeah. Heading towards now. Let's hit a first base, possibly.
Extend your arms and bend your hands back at the wrists, contracting your lower arms comfortably for 15 seconds.
See that?
Strange.
Now you see that one right there. Flying across in the middle of the night.
On the video. Here.
You got people
On
laughing.
the video.
Look at that.
Here.
Blink of light.
You don't see an object.
See that? That's
That's on the video. Here.
You got these people laughing, but they don't know what they're looking at, man. They don't know what's going on. See, we see the chariots, and it gives us hope. I know when the times that I've seen them, it instilled hope in me, man. I was excited. It's a sign of deliverance. It's a sign of the end of the world. It's a sign and a token that Yahweh Hashem is about to destroy this place. But these nations, they have no idea what they're looking at and what's in store for them, right? And this one says, let me pull this article up. This is from Minnesota, so-called radio.com. And they're saying, Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. So you get the term the Lakers from. A good amount of, it says Sasquatch spotting, and 36 UFO sightings reported in 2024. Right? So more people are seeing chariots more than ever. More people are seeing chariots more than ever. And if you haven't seen one, most High willing, you see one soon, and we all see one soon, man. We see the ones that come to destroy the society, man. Right? We see the ones that come and burn up these jobs we work at, these jails our people are in, these industrial prison complexes, these damn hell holes, man, of kingdoms that we dwell in, and Yahweh Bashman Rashad delivers us, man. So you got chariot sightings, you got wars brewing in the earth, man. You got North Korea said they're ready to get their troops ready with Russia. So North Korea is getting ready for war. 50,000 troops of Russia, they're getting ready for war. NATO's looking to branch off from the EU, right? You got global famines coming on the earth. People are telling their countries, you have 72 hours. You got chariot sightings. You got war maps. You have all hell breaking loose on the earth, man. And Trump is in office, and God knows what spirit he's going to be in. God knows what spirit he's going to be in. Let's go to the book of Revelation, right? Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 12, right? Revelation chapter 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So this is much more of a reason to stay on fire, to be diligent, to wax old in your work, man, right? To suffer, to embrace suffering, to endure day by day. We understand, to repent, to come back to Yahweh Bashmiel Shah, to put away the old man, right? To put away that sin that's easily making you go off, that you're entertaining, to cut off those who are going to get you cut off from the Most High, man. We're in the time of praying more than ever. We're in the time of fasting more than ever. We're in the time of congregating more than ever. Doing this work. You brothers should be out there in the highways and byways, pushing this word, magnify the name of Yahweh Shemel Rashad. You sisters should be magnifying the name of the Most High by reverencing your husbands if you're married, and those who may not be married. There are talents and gifts that you may have that should be exercised for the ministry and for the magnification of Yahweh Shemel Rashad. We should be spotless and without blame as much as we can in this flesh, begging for mercy of Yahweh Bashim Shai, that he takes not the Holy Spirit away from us, and that we endure to the end. So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh Bashim Mashiach Wamalak Bashai. Another Monday Night Fire. Most High willing, you was edified. Kwam Yashab. Shalom.